1939, in a picture called Stagecoach, the art of making westerns reached a peak that some say has never been surpassed. Its director was John Ford, forth a brand new western star named John Wayne.
Same gun, Dave. Still working. I'm working a little, too.
I've heard it. John is an actor in westerns, one who has got a great string of years as #1 at the box office. What do you really like about the western?
Well, I like to work in westerns because they're usually simple, uncomplicated stories. They're folklore in its purest form. Cowboy's a little more than 100 years old, yet he's had more written about him than any real or fancied figure in all history. Most of all, I suppose I like the folklore and the man the cowboy is. And I'm proud that in my life I've had a part in the telling of his tale.
Larry, the westbound American Express are going to crash.
Road agents haven't been very active lately, have they?
Well, we've got them scared.
Get rid of that gun, and don't turn around. I'll throw off that money box. Keep driving straight ahead and don't look back.
You are a conquered people. Your first duty is to do as you are told.
Take it easy, Bob.
What did you call me? Bob.
Here is an American student. They speak strangely.
American.
Story of the first drive on the dangerous Chisholm Trail.
We got 1,000 miles to go. It's gonna be Indian territory. There'll be no quitting along the way, not by me and not by you. That's a pretty bonnet you have on.
Bonnet? Don't you be talking to me about bonnets. After leaving mine stuck up there like a...
Easy now. Have the good manners not to hit the man until he's your husband and entitled to hit you back.
The John Wayne story, the early years. He came out of the very heart of America, and he became the very image of the country that gave him birth. For most of this century and forevermore, John Wayne will embody the very definition of an American hero. Here, in one incredible, larger-than-life persona, was the screen vision of our folk heroes, gallant pioneers, two-fisted cowboys, tough detectives, and more than anything else, the soul of the American soldier. When we saw John Wayne riding out of a frontier fort, hitting the sands of Iwo Jima, or fighting in the jungles of Vietnam, we believed him, because we wanted to, and yes, at times, because we needed to. No matter his rank, from lowly enlisted man to general, we wanted all our men to be like him, brave, fair, able to give and take a joke, and most of all, the kind of guy who didn't go looking for a fight, but if one found him, he'd give them all they could handle. Oh yes, he was also the kind of a tough guy who could still get a tear in his eye when an American flag went by. The year was 1907, the place Winter Rest, Iowa, a small town outside of Des Moines. Marion Morrison entered the world on May 26, the first child of Clyde Doc Morrison, who worked as a prescription filler at a drugstore, and Mary Brown, a telephone operator. In 1912, after the birth of Marion's brother Robert, Doc Morrison contracted tuberculosis and was advised by doctors to move to a warmer climate. The family bought an 80-acre homestead in Palmdale, California, at the edge of the Mojave Desert. Unfortunately, the farming venture was a failure, and in 1916, the family moved to Glendale, just outside of Los Angeles. Marion's dad once again found work in a local drugstore. It was around this time that many film companies were moving from New York to California, and Glendale, with its sunny climate and rugged terrain, became the center for Western film productions. Companies like Fox and Vitagraph filmed in and around town. One company, Callum Studios, even built a permanent Western town set, and young Marion would often watch the filming. It was about this time that Marion acquired his lifelong nickname of Duke. The most commonly accepted version recalls that local firemen used to see young Marion and his large dog, an Airedale, pass by each day. They actually referred to the dog as Big Duke and young Marion as Little Duke. Marion was a straight A student in high school and was elected class president in 1925. He became a star football player, which ultimately earned him many scholarship offers. His first choice was a naval career, and he narrowly missed a nomination to Annapolis. Marion accepted a football scholarship to the University of Southern California. The strapping 6'4" Morrison played guard under legendary coach Howard Jones. By the end of his first year, Marion's parents had separated, and he needed money badly. Coach Jones had an idea. He sent Wayne and a friend to the Fox movie lot to deliver highly coveted USC football tickets to Tom Mix, the most important cowboy star of his day. Mix was impressed with Marion and helped arrange a summer job on the Fox lot. Marion became a member of a swing gang, working as a strong arm and prop man from set to set. His salary was $35 per week. He also did some extra work in films like Brown of Harvard and Dropkick. One day, Morrison was ordered to the set of the 1928 film Mother Machree, directed by John Ford. Ford recalled his early meeting with Wayne on a 1958 television program.
Duke was an undergraduate at USC when I first saw him. He was young Duke then, now he's old Duke. He was our prop man, a third assistant prop man during his summer vacations. I asked him what he wanted to do, what he was studying for. Was he taking pre-med, pre-legal? And he said, oh, he wanted to be a director.
Later, young Duke worked on another Ford film, the 1928 release Hangman's House. Wayne returned to USC for the next semester, but a shoulder injury affected his football performance. Soon his grades fell off, and by the end of the term, Duke dropped out of school and reportedly stowed away on a steamship bound for Hawaii. After returning to California, broke and disheartened, he approached John Ford, who helped him get work on the Fox lot. Later that year, he appeared in the John Ford-directed film Salute. Duke also helped Ford arrange for members of the USC football team to travel east to Annapolis and appear in the film. One non-fraternity member Duke picked was Ward Bond. It's also the film he received his first screen billing as Duke Morrison. Besides working for John Ford, Duke did propping and stunt work for cowboy star George O'Brien, and they too became lifelong friends. During this period, Duke Morrison continued to appear in films like the 1929 musical Words and Music. Duke's next film was another Ford film, Men Without Women, the story of 14 sailors trapped in a submarine. This film brought together Ford, screenwriter Dudley Nichols, and cameraman Joseph August, the team that would make many of Ford's best films. The 1930 release of The Big Trail changed many things in Duke's life, including his name. Director Raoul Walsh was hunting for a young leading man to play a scout. The film was budgeted at over $1 million, an unheard of sum in those days. The film also involved a new method of film presentation. It would be shot in 70mm and projected on a screen twice as large as any in existence. There are various accounts of how Duke got the role, but he did actually do a screen test for Walsh and won the part. It was also Walsh who changed Marion Morrison's name to John Wayne, saying, "I can't have a leading man with a name that sounds like a girl's." The film should have been a blockbuster, but it wasn't. Dogged by production costs, overruns, and technical problems, it was in trouble from the beginning. When The Big Trail was released, few theaters were equipped to show the picture in the new larger format, so most theatergoers saw a smaller 35mm version, and the movie lost much of its impact. But Wayne did get his first taste of the old Hollywood buildup as the studio sent him on a cross-country publicity tour, and he did his first fan magazine interviews. It didn't help, and the movie was dubbed Walsh's Folly, and the now John Wayne found himself back making B-movies at Fox, like Girls Demand Excitement, 3 Girls Lost, after which Fox dropped Wayne's option. Harry Cohen offered Wayne a contract with Columbia that paid $350 per week. His first film was Men Are Like That, also known as Arizona, followed by parts in Range Feud, a B-Western starring Buck Jones, and Maker of Men, all of which received lukewarm reviews. On Christmas Eve 1931, Wayne was dropped from Columbia. Wayne quickly found himself bouncing from studio to studio and deeply entrenched in the B-movie genre. Although they were B-movies, Wayne finally did get star billing. The first of his Warner Brothers efforts was the 1932 release, Haunted Gold. Many of these films were adapted from earlier silent westerns, and in some cases they actually borrowed footage from the original silent films. It was during the filming that Wayne first met Yakima Canutt, a champion rodeo star and stuntman. Canutt became Duke's mentor and lifelong friend. Wayne was later quoted as saying, "I learned as much about riding, stunning, and making pictures from Yakima Canutt as any man I have ever known." Wayne's next film, Shadow of the Eagle, was a 12-part serial produced by one of the so-called Poverty Row Studios, Mascot Picture Corporation. The film is the story of a heroic skywriting carnival worker trying to save the life of the carnival's owner.
A man was killed at the airplane factory tonight.
A man was killed? What has that to do with Father?
Well, it was murdered, Gene, and I'm almost certain I saw your father running away.
What do they generally do with murderers?
Oh, but he hasn't killed anyone. I know he hasn't.
We heard what he said. He's a self-confessed killer. Here, stand aside, McCoy. We're going to take him.
Over my dead body, you big palooka.
Well, it looks like I'm a marked man, doesn't it?
The eagle has struck.
Shadow of the Eagle was so successful that Wayne was signed for another Mascot serial, the 1932 Hurricane Express. This time, Wayne played a pilot whose father had been killed in a mysterious train wreck.
Larry, the westbound and Hurricane Express are going to crash.
Sure are jealous of this old boiler, Dad.
Why shouldn't I be? My boy, she's part of me. Or maybe I'm just part of her, I don't know. I took her out on her first run. And I hope I'll be at her throttle when I make my last. Oh, Dad! You killed my father! It wasn't my fault! Honestly, it wasn't. Honestly, someone struck me down from behind!
Well, you're the wrecker. The man who murdered my father. I swore I'd get you.
The success of the serials brought renewed interest from the larger studios. Wayne was signed by Paramount and appeared in the 1932 Lady and Gent. Next, Warner Brothers wanted Wayne to appear in more B-westerns similar to his previous Haunted Gold. Wayne signed to do 6 films. He was paid $1,500 for each. The first was the 1932 Ride 'em Cowboy. Wayne was also appearing in non-westerns like his private secretary for Showman's Pictures and The Life of Jimmy Dolan for Warner's, and for Mascot Pictures in the action serial The Three Musketeers, an updated version of the Alexander Dumas classic. He was now earning close to $30,000 per year. On June 24, 1933, John Wayne married Josephine Sayens. Wayne had first met Josie while at USC. She came from a prominent Cuban-American family who were also devout Catholics. For 7 years, they had discouraged their daughter's relationship with Wayne. The couple were married at Loretta Young's home in Bel Air. Wayne signed an 8-picture deal with Monogram Studios at a salary of $2,500 per film. His first film under the new deal with Monogram was the 1933 Lone Star production of Riders of Destiny.
His eyes were burning with flames of hate, and his guns were loaded with poison bait. As they hung and swung at his side, grease up your guns.
In the film, Wayne plays Secret Service agent Singin' Sandy Saunders. There was just one problem. Wayne couldn't play the guitar or sing, as he recalled on a Dean Martin show.
Tonight you'll be drinking your drinks with the dead.
Back in the early days, I wasn't known just as a fighter and a gunslinger. I was once known as Singing Sandy.
Singing cowboy?
Well, it was back in the 30s, and I was playing a cowboy, and the director thought it might be a good idea if every time I got mad, I start to hum.
Sounds like a natural.
Yeah, hum along Wayne. Well, it caught on, and the next picture I did 4 songs and played a guitar.
So you were the first singing cowboy, huh?
Well, I'll have to confess there was 3 of us. There was me, there was the fellow that dubbed my voice, and there was the fellow playing the guitar. I was really a trio.
You mean it was somebody else's voice and you never sang at all?
Only once, when they wanted to stampede the cattle.
Oh.
Sing the chorus again.
That was mighty fine, son.
Actually, the man credited with dubbing Wayne's voice was Glenn Strange, a character actor better known to film and TV audiences as one of the men who played the Frankenstein monster for Universal Pictures, and hundreds of roles as Western bad guys, including Butch Cavendish on the Lone Ranger TV series, and later as the likable Sam, the bartender on Gunsmoke. In an interview, Wayne commented that the fact I couldn't sing or play the guitar became terribly embarrassing to me, especially on public appearances. Kids would ask me to sing, but I couldn't take along the fellow who actually sang on the other side of the camera. So I went to the studio and told them I couldn't handle it. The studio agreed, but the concept had caught on with the public. Hollywood took notice, and rival producer Nat Levine decided to find someone who could really sing. He picked a radio personality and recording artist by the name of Gene Autry.
Well, anyway, these pictures gave Hollywood the idea for a singing cowboy, and that's when Gene Autry got started.
Gene Autry?
Yeah.
Too bad you 2 guys couldn't have made a picture together. Hey, how about them rough riding cowboys, Marion and Gene?
The 1933 release Sagebrush Trail is typical of the Lone Star Westerns of that time. In the film, Wayne plays a man wrongly convicted for committing a murder. He escapes from prison and tries to find the real killer.
Just got a wire that says you got a fugitive on board, Fred. Guess we'll have to give your train the once-over.
All right, Sheriff, go ahead. Who is he?
Name was John Grant. Sent up for murder and got away.
Grant, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Read about him in the paper. Well, I hope you get him, Sheriff.
don't see a sign of him anyplace. What's that? That got him.
Let's go get some of the boys and drag the lake.
Well, I guess you got me.
Come on out, stranger. I ain't the law. You're a pretty smart hombre, and you got plenty of nerve. It strikes me the boss could use somebody like you. What's your name? Smith, ain't it? That's the handle most of you fast travelers use. Ah, that's as good as any. Mine's Jones.
Just a few minutes, boys, so get ready.
Road agents haven't been very active lately, have they? Oh, we've got them scared.
Get rid of that gun, and don't turn around.
I'll throw off that money box.
Now keep driving straight ahead and don't look back.
This ought to be a good haul. Here he comes now.
I tell you, he came up behind us. We didn't even get a look at him.
He must be telling the truth, Chief. There ain't a sign on the box anywhere.
All right, get going.
Here.
Somebody's pulled a fast one. Say, did you tell Smith about this? No.
In 1934, John Wayne and Josie had their first child, Michael. But the couple's marriage was showing signs of strain. Many felt their problems were due to their vastly different backgrounds. Josie enjoyed the social whirl, while Duke loved hanging out with his buddies Ward Bond, John Ford, and Yakima Canuck. The 1935 Dawn Rider has Wayne trying to bring the men who shot his father to justice. The budgets for most of these Lone Star Western series was usually less than $10,000 per film. They were shot in less than a week. Although they were considered actor-proof, which meant that all the stars had to do is ride, shoot, and fight, But Wayne's early experience with John Ford and his own ideas of realism brought something new to the table. Wayne once said, "My dad always told me to win a fight when I got in one. So if a guy hits me with a vase, I'd hit him back with a chair, or anything else I could get my hands on." I changed the saintly, pure Boy Scout image of the original cowboy to a more normal kind of fella.
You didn't look so tough, I figured having to use a gun on you.
You don't have to, hard-boiled.
Where's that guy?
Never saw him before.
Why don't you fight?
You got me licked, fella.
That's what my jaw tells me.
I think I know something we both need.
Sure. And I'm going to buy him.
In 1935, Monogram merged with other Poverty Row studios to form the New Republic Pictures. Wayne continued to star in low-budget horse operas like Desert Trail.
You kind of took me by surprise. I didn't expect to see you here. Oh, I gotta be going. I'll see you later, Scott. Ann, I won't be home until late.
That's all right, Jim. Mr. Smith will see me home.
All right.
Thanks a lot, miss, but the name is Jones.
I said Smith. And if you'll pardon me, I'm going to lock up Mr. Jones. I'm waiting for Mr. Smith.
Well, in that case, I guess we'll both wait for him.
Well, you needn't trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble. I haven't anything else to do.
Couldn't you find some other place to do it?
Well, I could, but you wouldn't be there.
Is there anything you want?
Sure. What's in those bottles?
Nerve tonic. But you don't need any.
No, but my horse does. He's all run down. I think I'll take one.
Is there anything else?
Oh, let me see now. Well, well, well. Just what I've been looking for. You think they'll fit?
Well, I'm sure I don't know.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
I hope that's all.
Well, come to think about it, I think I'll take another bottle of that nerve tonic. My horse is pretty well run down. Shall we dance?
But the New Republic Pictures decided to invest more money in Wayne, so they budgeted $17,000 for the 1935 release, Westward Ho! Their investment proved shrewd, as the film grossed over $500,000. In 1936, Wayne's first daughter, Antonia Maria, was born, and Wayne had signed a new 6-picture deal with Universal. His pay would be $6,000 per picture, and none of them would be westerns, including the 1937 release, California Straight Ahead.
Am I glad to see you? Yeah, for what? For this. 4 hours ago, the SEP started a special train from the Eagle Aviation to try and beat our time. Boys, there's $1 million contract at stake. This is $1 million race. What do you say?
Let's go!
And you've got to stop that caravan long enough for me to get to the border first. Do you get it? Can you do it?
Yeah.
And I don't care how you do it.
Also in 1937, Wayne starred as a newsreel cameraman in I Cover the War. But like his other Universal films, the picture failed to find an audience and generally failed at the box office.
Action moves into high gear as John Wayne, ace newsreel cameraman, sets out on his most dangerous assignment to film secret activities of a power-mad desert chieftain. For adventure to capture your imagination, excitement to set your pulse pounding, drama that will leave you spellbound, you must see John Wayne in I Cover the War.
There's quite a severe penalty awaiting the man that's convicted of arming the natives. You want me to believe you used your pass for that purpose? You say you left it in the hotel?
Yes, in my room.
I'll send an orderly for it.
I'd rather get it myself.
How long will it take you?
How long have I got?
I should like the pass and the man that used it in custody by 8 o'clock tonight.
Duke went back with Republic Pictures for a 2-year deal. The studio wanted Wayne to appear in their Three Musketeers series, a cowboy version of the Three Musketeers. The series had been a hit since it began production in 1936. The current Three Musketeers were Robert Livingston, Ray Crash Corrigan, and Max Terhune. Wayne was hired to replace Livingston and play the role of Stony Burke. In all, Wayne would appear in 8 films of the series, like this 1937 release, Overland Stage Riders.
What do you say we send Harmon a donation to boost the ante? Maybe I will, after we polish off the 3 o'clock stage.
We just spotted the Oro Grande Gold stage. It's about to be held up.
Where?
Kent's Pass.
What happened, Pete?
They shot up the boys and took over the train.
Take care of him. Come on.
It wasn't the Overland Stage Riders that would forever change John Wayne's career. It was a stage to Lordsburg. John Ford had optioned a short story by that title for $2,500. After arranging for financing and distribution through United Artists, Ford had one more challenge left. He had to convince the studio that the role of the Ringo Kid should be played by John Wayne instead of Gary Cooper. As the story goes, in the spring of 1938, John Ford handed Wayne the short story he was going to make into a movie and asked Wayne who should play the lead role. Wayne replied, "There's only one actor I can think of, and that's Lloyd Nolan." "You stupid SOB," yelled back Ford. "You're gonna play it." Filming began in late spring 1938 with a budget of $220,000. Wayne's co-stars were Claire Trevor, Thomas Mitchell, John Carradine, Louise Platt, and George Bancroft. Andy Devine played the stage driver. After more than 60 films, John Wayne seemed to be reborn right on screen when the stagecoach encountered the Ringo Kids standing in the middle of the road.
Hold it! Whoa, steady, hoo, hoo.
In a movie filled with classic scenes, nothing is more memorable than the final breathtaking chase. Filmed on location in Monument Valley, the sequence took 2 days to shoot, short by modern standards, with horses racing across the valley at speeds of over 40 miles an hour. Wayne's old buddy and mentor, Yakima Canute, doubling for Duke, thrilled audiences with his leap from the stage to the horses. Some early critics of the film wondered why the chase lasted so long and why the Indians just didn't shoot the horses pulling the stagecoach. Ford reportedly answered, "If the Indians had done that, they would have stopped the picture." Besides, the Indians were more interested in the horses than the passengers. When United Artists premiered Stagecoach on February 2nd, 1939, audiences screamed and yelled their approval. But strangely enough, many industry insiders thought it was just another Western. To complicate matters, 1939 has been considered one of the great movie years of all time, with films like The Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, and Goodbye Mr. Chips also being released. And so the film, credited with revolutionizing the Western, was not nominated for a Best Picture award. Thomas Mitchell did win the Oscar for the Best Supporting Actor, and Richard Hagman won for his rousing musical score. Years later, Ford reflected on the Oscars of 1939.
Mr. Ford, although you've won 4 Academy Awards and 4 Critics Awards for your pictures, Stagecoach did not win one for you. How come?
Well, Dave, I think in Hollywood, we are very, very particular about the Academy Awards. We try to be very, very just. The year that Stagecoach was up for the award, Gone with the Wind was sort of the main contender, and the consensus of opinion was that it was a better picture, and I quite agree.
Wayne, now the father of 3, after the birth of his son Patrick in July of 1938, wanted to use his new exposure to get better parts, and other studios were now interested in him. Unfortunately for Duke, he returned to Republic, where he was still under contract, and Republic regarded Stagecoach as just another Western. Wayne was back making films like The Night Riders, Wyoming Outlaw, and the 1940 Republic release, Three Faces West.
That used to be topsoil. Good rich earth. Fine stuff to have your roots in, if you had any roots.
Yes, but when you are a refugee, it is different. We have lost everything.
The way I figure it, you stopped being a refugee when you came through Ellis Island.
We're getting out of here. But not before you hand over that dough we chipped in.
Now, 1 dime, Higgins. You know what that money's for.
I suppose it wouldn't be for that little furrin dish that's strutting around your back.
As long as we have to move off the land, let's move off like an army and not like rabble. Only a few months ago, I told you to stay here and fight. Well, we fought. We lost.
Republic Pictures brings you the dramatic story of a man's fiery courage in the face of disaster, and of 2 wanderers from another land, refugees from oppression, only to become refugees of nature.
Grab this chance to be free, Lenny. It'll never come again.
Wayne's film career started to take an upswing when Universal paired him with Marlene Dietrich in the 1940 release 7 Sinners, but his private life was not going well, and he was no longer living at home with his wife Josie, despite the addition of Wayne's 4th child, Melinda. The 1942 Paramount release, Reap the Wild Wind, marks another turning point in Wayne's career. None other than Cecil B. DeMille picked Wayne for the $4 million production, and it finally put him into Hollywood's big salary league.
About a year ago, in the Saturday Evening Post, I came across a story with a very adventurous and thrilling background. One of the most picturesque in the American saga. 1840, when America's newly won freedom of the seas had to be fought for all over again. This background was the inspiration for Reap the Wild Wind. We tell the story of tempestuous Loxie Claiborne and of 2 men, the stalwart sea captain, and the polished blade of Charleston, who fights savagely for the love of Loxie. Ray Milland, John Wayne, and Paulette Goddard were the natural choice for these three roles.
The Spoilers was Wayne's next film, which reunited him with Marlene Dietrich. Although Wayne is once again back on the range, things were going to change very soon, not only for John Wayne, but for the entire world.
The Yukon, hot spot of the frozen north, wide open and wild, ruled by searing lead and silken legs. Against this lusty, brawling background, Rex Beach's memorable story, produced by Frank Lloyd, comes to vivid, exciting life with this outstanding cast. Marlene Dietrich, Randolph Scott, John Wayne, with Margaret Lindsay, Harry Carey, Richard Barthelmess, in a drama bold as the screen can give.
From now on, things are going to be run my way, and you can start adjusting yourself to that idea. And that's my way. Like it?
During the filming of The Spoilers, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, and the Second World War began. There are some reports that Wayne had actually tried to enlist as early as 1940, but was turned down. At 34 years of age, married with 4 children, he was exempt from the draft. By all accounts, Wayne was frustrated and committed himself to do all he could to support the war effort at home. The 1942 release of Flying Tigers set the standard for many of Wayne's military pictures to come. Wayne played squadron leader Jim Gordon, the older soldier who must teach his young men military discipline and the skills to survive the conflict. Although there would be other kinds of film roles, Wayne would return to this character again and again.
Public Pictures presents The Flying Tigers, a timely picturization of the story of those brave volunteers who blaze a new path to glory. John Wayne is the leader of the Flying Tigers. John Carroll, his friend, cocky, irresponsible, and both in love with Anna Lee.
Why don't you go home?
You need a nurse. Suppose you cut yourself shaving.
There's an army truck out of here for last show, day after tomorrow.
Yeah. But I'm still a good flyer, Jim. I'll knock down 10 of those rats for either one of our boys.
It's out of my hands now. None of these men will ever fly with you again.
The great American spirit takes to the air to free the skies of cowardly monsters that release instruments of death and destruction upon a gallant people.
The 1942 MGM release, Reunion in France, does not follow the typical Wayne war effort format. Basically, it was a Joan Crawford vehicle about the French resistance during the German occupation. Wayne plays a wounded RAF pilot trying to reach London. It's one of the few Wayne war films set in Europe. The critics were not kind to the film. Time magazine called it a Joan Crawford version of The Fall of France.
You are a conquered people. Your first duty is to do as you are told.
Take it easy, Bob.
What did you call me? Bob.
Here is an American student. They speak strangely.
American.
Remember every word I say to you now, as if you had never heard me speak before. With all my heart, I love you. I want you never to forget it, never to doubt it, no matter what.
If you get caught, you're in line to be shot.
Yes, I suppose so.
You could stay here and live off what's left of the fat of the land. Instead of that, you risk your life to get one bomber pilot out of France. Why?
Wayne's next film, the 1942 Universal release Pittsburgh, is an unusual war effort vehicle. Wayne plays Pitt Markham, an unscrupulous coal miner who rises to the head of an industrial empire. But when the war breaks out, he changes his ways to help the country with increased coal production and revolutionary new coal tar technology.
Hunky with diamond aspirations, and the 2 men she fired with reckless ambition. The stars who thrilled you in The Spoilers: Marlene Dietrich, Randolph Scott, John Wayne, with Frank Craven, Louise Albritton, Thomas Gomez, Samuel S. Hines, in a brawny kaleidoscope of miners and millionaires, speakeasies and mansions in Pittsburgh's roaring 20s, when two huskies fought a city and each other for the favor of a woman.
Drag him out! Look out!
I'm your kind of guy, see? And you're my kind of gal. We were cut from the same chunk.
Yeah, of dirt and smoke. Maybe that's what you want. I've got other plans.
Baby, this is one time you're gonna do your own fighting.
Trying to be a hero, huh?
1943 was an odd year for Wayne. In May, his wife Josie filed for divorce, which left Wayne free to pursue Esperanza Bauer, a Mexican actress Wayne had first met on a trip to Mexico City in 1941. The couple married in 1946 after his divorce from Josie became final. Wayne's lighter filming schedule in 1943 allowed him to visit and entertain American troops in New Guinea. He made only 3 films that year: Lady Takes a Chance, War of the Wildcats, and The Fighting Seabees. The 1942 release Tall in the Saddle was a film Wayne wanted to make, but he couldn't get a major studio to produce it. He found an independent producer to raise the $700,000 necessary, and RKO agreed to distribute it. The picture grossed more than $4 million.
Out of nowhere comes a stranger, silent, mysterious.
You know, the district judge at Garden City might be very interested in these.
But a trail of vengeance and treachery leads to 2 great loves. One, tender, romantic. The other, exciting, disturbing, dangerous.
Go ahead and tell her. And I dare him to deny it.
Deny what?
That she was with you last night in a cabin in the mountains.
Tell me why Garvey murdered Red Cardell.
I don't know anything about it.
Here is breathtaking adventure, rough, rousing, rolling, to match an absorbing love story as daring and exciting as the old pioneer West.
Stop or I'll kill you!
Republic Pictures celebrated their 10th anniversary with the 1945 release, Flame of the Barbary Coast.
Flaxen, warm, bewitching, fiery, brilliantly portrayed by lovely Anne Dvorak, whose captivating charms provoked a conflict between 2 men that make screen history. John Wayne, who rolled in from the limitless plains of Montana to meet Joseph Schildkraut, undisputed boss of Barbary Coast.
Is Blackson in on this?
What do you think? Yes, I know, but don't try it.
I think it'd be an excellent idea.
Exciting, lusty story of ribald days and dramatic, dangerous nights of 2 strong men who fought for the love of a dance hall queen and gambled for the city of San Francisco.
I want what you got in your coat pocket there, Tito.
That's the city of San Francisco, Duke.
And it's mine. There's 500,000 people out there think it belongs to them.
A good gambler knows enough to quit when he's ahead.
I'm calling you, Tito.
For the 1945 release, Back to Bataan, Wayne returned to RKO Studios. The film depicts the heroic struggle of resistance fighters on the island of Bataan. The movie is sometimes confused with the 1943 film Bataan, which starred Robert Taylor. There is some indication that Wayne made the film at the request of the government, which may have been trying to get the country ready for the heavy losses expected as the Pacific Campaign intensified.
Filipinos, why do you fight?
Over the Manila radio, the voice of Luzon's most beautiful actress urges her people to yield, while American officers listen silently and keep a secret too dangerous to reveal.
I know it's tough when the woman you love goes over to the enemy, but you can't let her take her
It's none of your business.
That's right. But risking the lives of these men is my business.
Here's the story America will never forget. A picture produced while the world-shaking event was actually taking place, with an inspired cast living their roles as the gallant heroes who stood firmly and bravely in the face of certain death.
After Back to Bataan, Wayne found himself in the 1945 release Dakota, where he was forced to co-star with Vera Ruba Ralston. Ralston was a former figure skater who had caught the eye of Republic Pictures boss Herbert Yates. She was generally considered one of the worst actresses in Hollywood. Wayne went about his business in a professional manner, as did co-stars Walter Brennan and Ward Bond. Ralston later married Herbert Yates.
It starts with a romantic elopement and a reckless chase. Heart racing, pulse pounding. It's love under fire and at full gallop. And it never lets up, for this pair of lovers walk right into the toughest spot this side of Hades.
So I'll take the money.
John Wayne, as the wildest gambling, fighting fool west of the Mississippi, who dares to stake his chips against a pat hand. Lovely Vera Ruba Ralston, who knows her man when she sees him and risks her life and his to save him from harm.
There's a way of taking care of killers here, ain't there, folks? Come on.
Here is raw adventure, one of the truest dramatic thrills of your life, in the picture that's packed with them. Dakota.
Where would I ever find another handsome, easygoing...
No good man like me?
Yes.
Any first-class jail west of the Mississippi.
For his next film, Wayne was approached by John Ford to star in the MGM film They Were Expendable. It was based on the semi-fictional account of PT boat commander Lieutenant John Bulkeley, who pioneered the use of PT boats as assault vehicles. By the time the film was released in 1945, the Japanese had surrendered. The producers added a title card at the beginning of the film announcing, "The victory has been won." But they were afraid audiences had become war-weary and would not come. The great action sequences and fine acting made the film one of the most popular of the entire war era.
They Were Expendable is a powerful document of fact, more thrilling than any fiction.
With the war over, Hollywood decided the country wanted to see comedies. In 1946, RKO cast Wayne opposite Claudette Colbert in a cross-country rom called Without Reservations. Wayne, still in uniform as a Marine flyer, matches barbs with Colbert, a best-selling author on her way to Hollywood. The film also starred Don DeFore as Wayne's pal. Well, the country may have been willing to laugh, but the critics weren't. Time magazine observed, "The untiring monkey shines of the three unmistakably mature stars reminds us that their combined ages must total over a century."
The most hilarious cross-country romantic escapade since Gable took Claudette for that riotous bus ride in It Happened One Night. For when a lovely novelist boards a train without reservations, she almost loses her reserve when a handsome hero comes to her rescue. It looks as though Wayne's going to be hard to handle, unless Claudette can fashion him after the hero of her own best-selling novel.
If I were this Mark Winston, I would behave like Lana Turner was a woman and argue with her afterwards.
But suppose you've just come back from the war and you're sick of it all. You're tired. Tired.
Honey, no pilot gets that tired. Yes, Wayne has other ideas. And not to look for a needle in a haystack either.
No, Rusty.
Her lips really mean yes. It's her mind that says no.
After Without Reservations, Wayne was feeling restless about his career, and strains were also showing in his second marriage. Republic Pictures was desperate to keep Wayne, whose contract had run out a year earlier. The studio offered him a new deal in which he could not only work for other studios, but he could also produce his own films. The former bit player had now become one of Hollywood's first stars to control his own destiny. Wayne's first production was the 1947 release, The Angel and the Bad Man. In many aspects, the film was an odd choice for Wayne to debut as producer and star. Although a Western, the story centered on Quirt Evans, that was Wayne, who falls in love with a Quaker girl, played by Gail Russell.
Give me that horse. He couldn't go on. Nor could you. You're injured, man. Let us take you in the house.
I gotta go on. Gotta get the telegraph station.
We'll take you. Penelope!
At the climax of the film, Evans must choose between revenge against the men who tried to kill him or the nonviolent Quaker values.
Step away from those women. Why don't you turn around, Quirt?
Nothing ever works out right.
I had them dead to rights. They got the Baker stage. So I figured I'd watch the ruckus. You down them, and I'd hang you. Sorta
killing 3 hawks with 1 stone, so to speak. And nothing ever works out right. Well, I missed your getting for it, but I'm patient. It's only a matter of time and I hang you.
Not me, mister. From now on, I'm a farmer.
That quirt. Say, Quirt might need that.
No. Only a man who carries a gun ever needs one.
What are you going to do with it?
Hang it on the wall in my office with a new rope.
The Angel and the Bad Man was not an auspicious beginning for Wayne's production career. It wasn't the bad reviews that bothered him as much as the financial failure. Also, a widely reported affair with co-star Gail Russell almost ended in tragedy. It happened after a party celebrating the last day of shooting on the film. Wayne arrived home early in the morning. Wayne's wife refused to open the door and let him in. She believed Wayne had spent the night with Gail Russell. Later, Wayne broke a window to get into the house. His wife came down with a loaded gun and almost shot Wayne. She later claimed she thought he was a burglar. To finish 1947, Wayne appeared in RKO's Tycoon. It was only the second picture he had made that year, and the industry was beginning to wonder if at age 40, Wayne's career might be on the decline. But once again, 2 things came to Duke's rescue: John Ford and Monument Valley. The 1948 release Fort Apache was the first in John Ford's so-called cavalry trilogy. Wayne's portrayal won him critical praise. As the experienced Captain York, Wayne is confronted by a new gung-ho and foolhardy commanding officer played by Henry Fonda. The Herald Tribune said, "Wayne is excellent as a captain who escapes the slaughter and protects his superior's name for the sake of the service." Wayne's next film, the 1948 United Artists release Red River, was not a John Ford film. It was Howard Hawks, who decided to cast Wayne after considering Cary Grant in his first attempt to direct a Western. The story was based on the founding of the famous King Ranch in Texas. With a $3 million budget and Wayne getting $150,000, it was a major film on every level. It also required Wayne to act as he had never done before. Wayne later said of the film, "Stagecoach established me as a star. Red River established me as an actor."
Only twice before has the screen undertaken a production of such magnitude. Directed by Howard Hawks, starring John Wayne and Montgomery Clift in a story taken from the annals of the great state of Texas. The story of the men who blazed the way for a new frontier. The story of the first drive on the dangerous Chisholm Trail.
We got 1,000 miles to go. It's going to be Indian territory. It's going to be a fight all the way. There'll be no quitting along the way, not by me and not by you. Sherry was right. It's soft. Every time you turn around, expect to see me. There's one time you'll turn around and I'll be there.
For the 1948 MGM release, The Three Godfathers, director John Ford gathered his now almost regular team of actors, including Wayne, Ward Bond, and Harry Carey Jr., for an unusual story of bank robbers who find a dying pregnant woman in the desert. The men deliver the baby and vow to protect it. One reviewer said, "Wayne is better than ever."
Gents, taking a bath is the least of the troubles confronting little Robert.
Robert William Pedro.
Why didn't somebody stop me before I promised that woman? Well, I don't want to grow no long white beard in the Yuma Penitentiary.
May my beard grow clear till it gets down to my foot. May it get a nest of prison rats before I break my promise to a dying woman.
Who said I was breaking my promise?
Why don't you kill the little fellow
I didn't
now?
say I was.
Sure, feed him to the
Why, you
coyotes.
chilly, Devon horse thief?
Horse thief?
Yes, horse thief.
A lot of boys stick up stagecoaches and banks and one thing or another. But a man that'd dynamite a water hole in this kind of country is downright criminal.
You heard Mr. Latham when he said $100 dead or alive. I'll add $50 to it. I'd like 'em dead.
In 1948, Wayne was elected president of the Conservative Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals. It was Wayne's first public venture into the political arena. Wayne said, "With all the leftist activity, I was quite obviously on the other side." On the professional side, everything seemed to be going well for Wayne, but when Duke's wife heard that he would be co-starring once again with Gail Russell in the 1948 release Wake of the Red Witch, she left California and returned to Mexico City.
It stars John Wayne as the bold, swashbuckling Captain Rawls. Gail Russell as the intriguing, provocative Angelique.
I'm not a ship or a warehouse. I can't be bought.
Here are two power-mad men, pitted against each other with all the weight of their fortunes, with all the strength at their command, for the love of a woman. The rare beauty of the South Seas in all its glamorous spectacle is the setting for undersea adventures as unusual as they are breathtaking. All this in a love story so passionately tender, with so strange a destiny, that you remember it always.
We'll go away now. Oh, by all means.
I won't leave you, Myra.
And you should be careful in whose arms you find yourself.
Rawls, please go now.
By dark, I'll have you on the beach and drummed out of every island in the Pacific.
If I ever hear that you hurt her, I'll come back and kill you.
The 1949 release, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, was the second in John Ford's Cavalry trilogy. Remarkably, the film was shot in just under a month on location in Monument Valley. The film takes place just after the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Wayne plays Captain Nathan Brittles, a 40-year veteran of the cavalry. On the eve of his retirement, he must face one last battle. But the film has strong anti-war sentiments and raises questions about the role of the military establishment. The New York Times cheered Wayne's performance, saying he is the absolute image and ideal of the legendary cavalryman.
Drama moves here. Raw, violent, young, provocative. Because of her, men fight heroically. Because of her, men die.
We must stop this war, pony that walks.
To the end, Nathan. To the end.
By now, there was no question of Duke's status as one of Hollywood's most popular stars, and to confirm it, even had a series of comic books published under the banner of John Wayne Adventures. The 1949 Republic release, The Fighting Kentuckian, was the second John Wayne-produced venture under his Republic contract. Taking place in 1817, it's the story of French Army officers granted asylum and land in the Alabama Territory. Wayne portrays Kentucky rifleman John Bream, who falls in love with the French general's daughter. Aside from an unusual solo performance by Oliver Hardy, the film was not noteworthy.
You're not marrying Blake Randolph, you're marrying me. Is that understood?
Yes, Jean-Louis. Now it's understood. I have been waiting for you to come for me.
When men fought for love, and loved the thrill of fighting, the flaming romance between this lovely French girl and the fighting Kentuckian set fire to a conflict of roaring excitement.
You're a man that knows trouble when he sees it. So why don't you pack your things and get out of here?
I see what you mean. And any further talk would be wasting time, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
The 1949 Republic release, The Sands of Iwo Jima, provided Wayne with one of his most memorable roles as Sergeant John Stryker. The film follows a platoon of Marines from boot camp to action as their crusty sergeant tries to keep them alive. The New York Times said, Wayne is especially honest and convincing. His performance holds the picture together.
Sergeant Stryker forged into fighting men. Men who said he was as hard-hearted as steel. But one woman knew differently.
So long.
So long, Sergeant. I'll pray for you.
A letter from my wife after 18 months. You know where she is? In England, entertaining troops. Entertaining troops? Why isn't she here entertaining me? I'm a troop.
Guys who laughed at life under the shadow of death. This is their story. A story the world will never forget.
Well, you can sit here and be tough if you want to, but I'm going out there and get that guy. And the only way you can stop me is to kill me.
That's just what I'll do.
Wayne was nominated for his first Academy Award for his powerful performance in The Sands of Iwo Jima. But the Oscar went to Broderick Crawford for All the King's Men. Wayne didn't seem to mind, saying, "I don't act, I react. I always play John Wayne." Whether it was really John Wayne on the screen or Sergeant Stryker, his honest portrayal of the American fighting man has left an indelible image few will ever achieve. From 1949 through 1973, John Wayne would never be out of Hollywood's top 10 box office lists. 1950 brought the final film of John Ford's trilogy, Rio Grande. In the film, Wayne reprises the character he first played in Fort Apache, Captain York, who is now a colonel. York is totally caught up in fighting Indians, but he has to deal with domestic turmoil when his son, who has flunked out of West Point, enlists in the regular army and is assigned to his command. Further complicating matters, York's estranged wife, Maureen O'Hara, arrives to obtain a discharge for her son. For O'Hara, it would be the first of 6 films she would do with Wayne. Rio Grande also marked the film debut of Wayne's son, Michael.
Co-starring Ben Johnson, Claude Jarman Jr., Harry Carey Jr., and Chill Wills, with J. Carroll Nash, Grant Withers, Victor McLaglen, and the Sons of the Pioneers. Follow me! Here is Adventure, starring John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. It will surely take its place among John Ford's greatest triumphs.
John Wayne entered the 1950s in style. Besides putting his hand and footprints in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater, Wayne was named the #1 box office draw of 1950. He was now working strictly under non-exclusive contracts for various studios. For his first effort of the new decade, Wayne traveled familiar ground. Operation Pacific put Wayne aboard a sub with old pal Ward Bond as the skipper.
Damn the torpedoes! Full speed ahead!
Operation Pacific! Operation Pacific! Operation Pacific! Yes, these are the words that sent history's greatest armada into action. Thousands of ships poised for the 0 hour, waiting for a lone American submarine, deep in enemy waters to signal the attack. The Thunderfish, a deadly raider of the sea lanes, manned by a fighting crew and the skipper who sailed her to glory. And this is the story of these men sealed in steel. The memories each carried in his heart, the warmth of that last kiss, the hilarity of that first shore leave, the danger of missions that took them from brooding islands to the very lifelines of the enemy, where human courage challenged the devastating blasts of inhuman odds. All hands, stand by for battle surface. Coming up for a thrill-thundering salute to the silent service is John Wayne in the glory-rousing role of his career. Patricia Neal, Ward Bond, Philip Carey.
Aren't you dramatizing this thing a little?
No, it's different this time. You're not the hero, you're the sucker. Mary Stewart and I are going to be married.
Still there, huh?
What?
That old Zane.
Of course it's still there, you big ape. What do you think could happen to it?
We're right in the middle of the entire Japanese Imperial fleet.
1951 saw the first of 3 films Wayne would make for Howard Hughes, who had bought RKO Pictures. From all accounts, Hughes and Wayne became great friends. Flying Leathernecks borrows heavily from the Sands of Iwo Jima. This time, Wayne is Major Dan Kirby, head of a Marine fighter squadron, a tough disciplinarian who drives his men hard so they can stay alive.
Jigsaw, commencing attack.
Step by step, determined and unrelenting, the mighty force of the United States Marine Corps shakes the skies, the seas, the enemy island fortresses. It is history in the making as the Flying Leathernecks set the dramatic pace along the battle-scarred, blood-stained pathway to world freedom.
You just can't bring yourself to point your finger at a guy and say, go get killed. You got enough troubles of your own for one man. Stop trying to pack everybody else's around. Schedule admission.
Roger. I got a belly full of you. And I'm not buying the bill of goods you're selling. I hope you'll say, let's take off these insignia and step out in the boondocks and get it settled. But out of the turmoil of a world at war comes a romantic adventure of such infinite tenderness that it will rank with the screen's great love stories.
Are we all buttoned up?
Cat's out. Door's locked. All secure, sir.
On March 3rd, 1952, John Wayne appeared on the cover of Time magazine. Although the cover story was about Wayne's career, it was also a way to publicize a new Wayne and John Ford collaboration which was due to open in May, The Quiet Man. As Sean Thornton, an American prizefighter who returns to Ireland to settle down after killing a man in the ring, John Wayne delivered one of his most beloved film portrayals. Wayne is paired once again with Maureen O'Hara, with supporting help from Victor McLaughlin and Barry Fitzgerald. Here, in a sense, both John Wayne and John Ford have come full circle from their earliest meeting in the 1928 Mother Machree.
I'd like to tell you about The Quiet Man. He's John Wayne in a picture you'll soon be cheering. It's the story of Sean Thornton, a right-intended man who came from America to forget his past in Innisfree. There he met a fiery red-headed lass, and the village marriage broker went to work.
That's a pretty bonnet you have on.
Bonnet? Don't you be talking to me about bonnets. After leaving mine stuck up there like a...
Easy now. Have the good manners not to hit the man until he's your husband and entitled to hit you back.
Then her bully of a brother, Red Will Danaher, refused to pay her rightful dowry.
There'll be no locks or bolts between us, Mary Kate, except those in your own mercenary little heart.
Mary Kate left him to go to Dublin, but he caught her at the station and brought her back with the whole town watching him do it.
I'll pay you. Never.
Then the fight was on, a fight they're still talking about in Innisfree. It's a wonderful picture, the finest ever brought to the screen by John Ford, and he's won 3 Academy Awards. His direction makes unforgettable the performances of John Wayne, Maureen O'Hara, Barry Fitzgerald, and Victor McLaughlin.
The Quiet Man was Wayne's 36th and last film for Republic Pictures. In a career that already spanned over 100 films, Wayne was at a turning point. Happily for moviegoers, some of Duke's best work still lay in front of him. In fact, he would go on to make nearly 50 more films, including many with John Pappy Ford. And he would also win his long overdue Academy Award.